I guess as we are having people coming in, if you could in the chat, where's everybody located at? We got about 5 or 6 people. Also, am I coming through on the audio? All right, awesome, Lori. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Lori, for coming out. That is, yeah, my wife right now is doing a lot of distance learning right now, so at its finest. All right, as we coming close to time, if there's other individuals out there who want to share, where you're at, maybe, a little bit about yourself as far as like maybe a title or in the company you're at, or, we'll start with that. So if you're interested in just sharing kind of where you're joining in from, what's your title, and, what made you interested in joining today's talk? In order to do this, on the right-hand side, there's going to be a chat panel on Hopin. Click on the session and go ahead on the bottom right. You'll see start typing. You'll be able to go ahead and go from there. All right, nice to meet you, Kent, or Kurt. Sorry about that. Lori, you do it all. Well, thanks, Adam. Nice to meet you. Awesome, Neil. Well, welcome, and excited that you're here with us today. I'm going to give a few more minutes because I just think the main session just ended and more people are joining. So those of us who are just joining, go ahead and just quickly introduce yourself, where you're located, and what brought you here today, or what brought you to Twin Cities Startup Week. And if you kind of see me looking off to my left here, I have two monitors going on. So my main one is for the presentation, and on the one on the left is me kind of looking at what everybody's saying. So if you see me glancing over, that's why. All right, welcome, Donica. Welcome, Brittany. Oh, Brittany, you and Lori, both gold stars. All right, excellent. Well, we're up to about 21 people, so this is great. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started. A lot of content. We're going to make this interactive, so feel free to continue to keep introducing yourself. This is going to be a great way for you to kind of see, for some of you who are like, hey, I'm looking to start a new adventure or maybe join one. Plenty of people in today's session is starting something, or maybe you might have a great idea. Again, the greatest thing about Twin City Startup Week is the kind of connections. And I think Hopin is really kind of facilitating best it can with 2020. So for those who are here, how as a founder to get your first customers? So you have a great idea or product, but how do you get people to buy it, right? That's the kind of the really big reason why we're all here, and really kind of think about it. So in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is how we're going to outline today's talk, is how confident on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like super confident on how to find customers on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, so you got a 5, 1, Adam's at a 7, Neil's at a 2. Okay. Bridget. Okay, good. Okay, so definitely some room for some improvement for everybody here. Okay, how to hold customer interviews or validate your product idea on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, Adam, Kurt, 8, Neil, 3, 6. Okay, excellent. Okay, wide range. This is going to be great. And then how to build a sales roadmap. Kind of once you kind of land a couple of customers, how to begin to build out that sales engine on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, a lot of interaction right there. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, so hopefully by the end of today, my goal is that if you answered in that 2 to 3 range, that you're going to be closer to that 5 or 6. If you're at that 5 or 6, maybe I get you closer to that 7 or 8. Again, it's always a journey. If you're at a 10, which you should never be, never should be there, but keep learning and growing. So a little bit about me. I am also a revenue operator. I also advise with Beta Cohort with that. I'm also starting my own podcast and website. So after this, go ahead and check out go-to-marketpodcast.com. A lot of this material is just that always continuous learning. So I would say probably a good, I would say 20 plus hours of just going out, reading, finding all this material to get into this content today. So that way you don't have to go spend all that time and you can actually take actual insights into this. So again, the goal here is just to get you quicker to the market and validating your ideas and going from there. So with that being said, really kind of think about it. And this is how investors kind of think about things is, are you able to each of these stages answer these questions? First one is, can you have a hypothesis and can you solve a problem? Like, can you actually do that? Then go out into the market and validate it. And then do people buy it? And then other people other than the founder can actually sell it. And we're going to kind of talk about a little bit of each of these steps along the way. And really the idea here is that after today, you can kind of have a better grasp of what this looks like. So with that being said, if the screen is not, if you're like looking at it and I'm having a hard time seeing what's in front of you, what I would recommend is actually on Hopin, you can actually double click on the presentation and it'll actually blow up on the whole screen so you can see everything. So if you want to go ahead and do that now, feel free to do it. So first thing is, like, how do you find customers? Like, who are they? You should be kind of answering these type of things on your own, is really kind of think about these individuals. What's their roles and responsibilities? And more importantly, what's the problem you're trying to solve for them? And so when you're kind of coming together and about your ideal customer profile, right, the ICP, the end of the day, what you need to be able to do is answer 3 questions. What problem are we solving? Who are we solving it for? How are we going to measure success? Now, that's all going to be very dependent upon what the product is or service that you're selling. But at the end of the day, when you're thinking about your ideal customer profile, that ICP, you should gear it towards what are these things. And really, again, it's about being as specific as possible. Some exercises to kind of help with this is being able to think of it as a real person. Go ahead and give them a name and being able to really understand like who and what they are. And if you have multiple ones, I would say no more than 2. What you're going to want to be able to do is really understand like where do those people go and visit online? Where are they at during their jobs? How are things going for them right now in COVID? Maybe you yourself are this person and you have an idea on how to like help other people within your roles and responsibilities and being able to do that. So it all starts with you hyper focusing on who your ideal customer is and being able to answer those 3 questions. But now you understand who your customer is. Okay, you've developed a profile, you understand who they are. Where do you go from there? Well, from there, your goal is to get into 30 customer interviews. Now, that might take a lot of different sales activities, calls, emails, and LinkedIn messages to get to that point where you're actually having those customer interviews. But your goal is to get into 30 customer interviews. And in today's world, you can do it over different online providers of different communications. But where do you find these people? You can use resources like LinkedIn, Zoom Info, LeadFox, and Seamless.ai. Now, that's very in a B2B world. Also, and another way to do this is also using search engine marketing, or SEM. This is if you have some type of revenue or cash to go ahead and burn to get somebody to help you find those people that you're looking to talk to. And they should be further down in the sales cycle. They're probably in more of a decision type of thing. So using PPC or ads. Now, if you're in a more of a B2C consumer, that's going to be a little bit different type of metrics as far as using ads, landing pages, websites, those type of things. So this is more geared towards that B2B customer rather than a B2C. So with that, I'm going to pause here. Any questions between defining an ICP or how to validate the market, kind of what your goal is? I'm going to pause a few seconds for that. Okay, if not a big deal. I'll come back to it. So you kind of have an idea of like, okay, so my goal is to get to 30 customer interviews, right? I know who I want to talk to. I want to have 30 of those customer interviews. I know where I need to go find them. I know I need a call. I need to send these emails and LinkedIn messages, but what does that look like? Well, this is kind of an idea on how to tailor your message, how to create that message. So first and foremost, you got to do your research. Spend about 5 to 10 minutes ahead of time of understanding who that person is that you're trying to reach out to. And again, this is not your friends and families or somebody who knows somebody who's just willing to do it. These have to be people that you don't know. And the goal here is that you want to be able to validate the market by these individuals. And as you begin to tailor that message, is there an event? Is there a reason why you're reaching out? Is there something going on that is really likely? That could be it. And right now, it's obviously it could be the pandemic. It could be working from home. A lot of you right now are talking about how you're balancing social distancing. So could that be a trigger event? Also, you want to be able to build trust. Is there anything that you have in common with? Also, phrases like, it's likely you're facing these problems. By saying those type of languages, it helps build confidence and trust in you as an expert in the field. And most importantly, it's not about you, it's about focusing on the problem. Why should they care? What is it in with them? And what is the problem that you're going to solve? Keep it short and simple. Have a very clear to action. Hey, would like to do a quick, a quick interview with you to see if this idea is not. Again, if you haven't yet, crossing the chasm, there's about early adopters that first early 2 to 3% of your target market. Don't focus on everyone. Again, there's going to be people out there who are wanting to talk to people who are wanting to solve a problem, but they can't find it yet. And that's where you can really help them out. And finally, be appreciative. Hey, thank you so much for being here. They're more likely to take the meeting, and we're more likely to do things for people who are appreciative of these type of things. So you kind of tailor these messages, but how does it look like between phones, emails, and other social selling? These are just some things that I think are just good tips. You got to use a phone. A lot of people are hesitant today. People say it doesn't work. But a lot of times, if you leave a voicemail, that's a call to action to look at the email. So when I would be prospecting or calling into people, I would simply say, this is Walter with Go to Market Podcasts. I sent you an email because it's like you have these type of problems. Go ahead and respond to me there if you'd like to do a customer interview. Again, call to action is going to the email so they can look down at the email and look what it's at. Again, the other part of it too is that it's more than one message, it's more than one email. Most people give up after 4 emails. So if you're consistent to that 7 email with a combination of some phone calls, and then you're using social to go where they're at. Are they on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook? If your ideal customer is interactive on these different channels, or maybe they're in an online community, go where they're at, participate, answer those questions, continue to keep giving to them, so that again, that kind of puts you in a spot as an expert. And then finally, and probably this is the most important part, is set a number for yourself. I'm going to reach out to 20 new people today. I'm going to make my 20 phone calls, and I'm going to send out my 20 messages. By having a daily cadence, this 20 mile march of constantly just staying with what you need to do is what's going to really help you achieve your goals. But also, as you're doing it, it's going to be kind of like, okay, like I'm telling my message, I'm trying different things, and you'll get confident the more you do it. The first couple ones, it's going to not go well. It's okay. It happens. The more and more you do it, the better you're going to get. So you got those interviews, and what does it look like? Well, this should be the outline of that slide deck. Again, it's not about you. It's not about the whole thing. It's about, hey, we think you have this problem. Do you have this problem? And then really kind of diving into what is going on for them and just let them talk. And really, it's just understanding about how does that problem impact them and impact their business. What problems is it doing for them personally and for those around them? The idea here is that you're having a consistent message, because just like that cold outreach that you were doing earlier, the first couple, not going to go great. I would say the first 5, first 10, second 10 after that, so you're up to 15, you really hone it in. And that last 15, you're going to really understand what your pitch is, how to phrase it, and really get into it. So again, that's why that 30 is so important. So once you've kind of talked about, they've shared what their problem is. Hey, this is what we think how to solve the problem. Hey, can we get some feedback? Now, this is all based off of Get in the Van. It's a great 20-minute YouTube clip. From here, base hit or home run. Make it a binary type of thing, so that way people can kind of talk about it. Would they want to be in the beta test? This is going to be important later on. Understanding their willingness to pay. Hey, if the product that we offer can do X, Y, Z, what does that cost? Or how much are you willing to pay? Once you ask that question, just be quiet, because they're thinking about it. Again, being quiet and having pauses is really good. And then if you can have $100, what's up, put it into the budget. What would that look like? What would you do? And who else should we talk to? You never know what this will lead you down in further things. So again, once you have these customers interviews, you're looking to have 30 of them, then you're asking for their feedback. And once you have their feedback and you can kind of take this out, you're going to want to create an Excel doc that has all the different customers where you can take your notes and kind of rank them. How savvy were they businessly? How savvy were they as far as technology goes? What were the top 3 problems that they said that you needed to solve? Did you get on base, or was it a home run? And would they be willing to beta test? How much would they be willing to pay? And was there anything a surprise? Now, if it's just you, you can do these. But if you have a co-founder, if you have somebody else on your team you can do these with, I'd highly recommend everyone joining it on these calls, because then you can share the different perspectives. Again, the more perspectives you have, the better it is. But at the end of it, you should be able to answer these questions. What problem are we solving? What are we solving for? And how will we measure success? So after you get done with those 30 customers, you need to see and validate the market, right? Go back to those customers. Hey, based upon your interview, here, this is what we're thinking about. Would you like to be a beta test? And as you're getting their feedback and you're adopting the product to it, using that lean startup methodology, again, go look at that resource, great resource. And then finally, after a certain period of time, hey, will you buy this? This is a beta test for the next month. We'd like to get your feedback. And at the end of it, we're charging at, a 90% discount. But we want to go ahead and offer this service. Again, the goal here is for them to actually pay for it. It doesn't matter how much, but what does matter is that they do pay for it, because you're just giving things away. You're not validating the value of what it brings to them. So at that point, if they don't buy it, then you repeat and rinse and kind of look back and keep doing what you're doing until you get a sufficient number of customers buying your product. So at this point, we've gone ahead and went through step 1, 2, and people are buying your product. Now we're going to be kind of talking about, okay, well, how does this look like long term? How should I be thinking about this from the things I've learned? Before I do, I'm going to pause here. Are there any questions from everyone? Again, if you look to the right, start typing, see if there's any questions. Okay, nope. All right. So how to build a sales roadmap. What does this look like? So if you think about how you've done this now, is that you went ahead and you've gone a sales activity in the beginning. You went ahead and got people into interviews, and then they're going to test, and I'll test how many pay for it. And out of those people who pay for it, how many of them have referred somebody to you because you've helped them so much? Or if it's a price per license, how many have added additional licenses? Okay, so by taking this type of each of these stages, these are important stages. This actually kind of falls very close to a traditional, I would say, sales funnel. The awareness stage, educate, select, onboard, impact, and grow. So taking these stages and being able to go ahead and think about, what does this actually look like, and how can I build that sales roadmap? So the way we do that is we go ahead and think about it in a way that, sorry guys, there we go, slides beginning to it, that we can actually now, instead of thinking of things in on top of each other, we actually go ahead and line these out into what we call the SAS Bow Tie. So we know who we need to go after, we educate them on what it is, they select us based upon the actual product of them testing it, we bring them on board, they have impact from your product, and then from there they grow. So now each of these stages, you can go ahead and select an leading indicator per stage to go ahead and influence to begin to optimize on what you're looking to do. Adam has a question here. So far, the process seems to be specific towards a product. Yes, Adam, exactly, I would. So Adam's question is, so far, the process seems to be specific towards a product. Would you apply this process to a service too? Yes, Adam, I would. And the way that I would actually think about this is the exact same thing. Instead of, this is a product, this is what I'm thinking, this is a service I want to go ahead and provide. What would that look like? How would that help you out? Would you go ahead and can we do a limited, first trial, paid service in the beginning? Because with services, you can't really offer it, but hey, let me get first 30 days. Let me go ahead and let's just try it out. And at the end of the 30 days, do you want to continue on or not? And if they like it, then they're going to be continuing on. And now that you're having a return on that service. So really great question. If you have a follow-up question on that, Adam, feel free to. So on awareness could be going ahead and how many, customers have visited your webpage. Awareness could be how many people you've reached out to. Awareness is going to be more of your type of marketing type of things. Educate is people that you've actually had started to reaching out to. How many people have responded to your emails? How many people have actually accepted a meeting? That'll probably be where that I'll look at it. And select is how many of those people have actually tested that product, or in Adam's case, that service. That green dot, sell happens. But in today's world, that's where the fun begins. Because too many people think this idea that salespeople, it's like sales done, I'm going to shake off my hands. Nope. The true value, and this is why you see tech companies going so crazy right now, is that they bring on and they have an impact for that end user and to continue to grow on top of that revenue by adding more licenses, adding additional services, and referring people back to it. So now you don't have to work as hard in your awareness and educate stage. So as you're beginning to do these things, it's easy for you as a founder to have somebody who's kind of a product manager, a trailblazer, go and say, hey, now it's your time to go ahead and these are the things I've learned. I can make 100 phone calls a day. I get a 10% reply rate. I get into 3 meetings. Of those 3 meetings, I get 1 customer who will test it out and they'll buy. And then from there, you can kind of begin to build that roadmap. So we've gone through it, and we have about 7 minutes left. And before we move to any questions, or actually, we'll pause and let me go back here. I would say of all the slides, this is by far the most important one. Is there any questions that you'd like to ask? What were the 3 questions we're answering again? Yep, Luke. Let me go ahead and go back for you. So what problems are we solving? Who are we solving it for? And how will we measure success? Yep, you're welcome, Luke. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions? Okay. If you think of anything, feel free to jump them in. All right, you can see my awesome Google Slides. Design. One more time. All right. So again, this is by far the most important part of each of these stages. So from here, when we have this, Luke has a question. How do you differentiate between awareness and educate? Awareness is them are aware of it. Educate is when you actually, they've selected they're in a meeting with you. So I would say in a more like business terms, awareness is more of your marketing. So I would say content marketing, your SEO, your social, and then educates when you're actually talking to somebody. They're willing to take that meeting. You're teaching them about it. So that would be more of a sales qualified lead. So awareness would be a marketing qualified lead. Educate, they're in a meeting. That's where I would say would be the leading indicator from awareness to educate. Yep, exactly. Okay, so with the final minutes we have here, on a scale of 1 to 10, after today, where would you say everyone is at on a 1 to 10, how to find customers? All right, Luke's at a 9 now. Awesome. 7. Okay. Excellent. Okay, oh, love it. So, oh man, we went from 2s and 3s to 7 and 8s. Fantastic, everyone. Glad you're getting something out of this. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how to hold customer interviews and validate your idea or your service? More 8s and 7s. This is great. Great to see that. All right, love it. Love that everyone's got something. And then finally, how to build a sales roadmap. All right, you too, Adam. Thanks a lot. All right. Okay. Some 5s and 6s. Hopefully got something out of it. So Jay and Luke, if you want to, find me on Hopin, be happy to sit down and talk more and see how we can, just how I can help out. Really, at the end of the day, that's what I care most about. So if you found this valuable, feel free to go ahead and visit www.gotomarketpodcast.com. I am going to be launching in October, and my first 1,000 subscribers are going to be getting a special offer once we hit that 1,000. So if you go there and sign up for the newsletter, you'll get updates sent to your inbox. But then also, if you want to find me on LinkedIn and just want to have somebody to talk to, I just care deeply about the community here. I'm actually new to the area, and I've just really, really do appreciate the community here. Obviously not from Minnesota, but really just want to let you know that at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and wanted to see people succeed because I really do believe that in the power of giving back is the way that you really help each other out. So with that being said, any other last questions before our time together has run out? All right, excellent. All right, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful time at Twin Cities Startup Week. Again, thank you for your time and your attention, and I hope you have a wonderful day.